He is a voice we know from many different adverts and also from those films that we used to see growing up, those Don't Slip on the Mat and Watch Out for Sheep going down the road and all those sort of things. He's from West Bridgford originally. Michael Jayston, how are you?
Well, good afternoon. That build-up, Nicholas Alexandra, for people who are about, 80?
We all look. You got with you, and let's.
It was a long, long time ago.
Let me introduce your bouncers that you've got with you as well from the Hoovers, because Michael's going to be with the Hoovers tonight, the Doctor Who Appreciation Society. We've got Andrew Mark Thompson and Steve Hardy. How are you, gentlemen?
Fine, thank you, Andy.
I'm wonderful, thank you.
So you're looking after this guy today.
Oh yeah,
Michael. I mean, Derby is pretty, open to you because West Bridgford is where you come from originally, isn't it?
That's right. And I was on the way here in the car. I was reminiscing about Derby. I haven't been here for years, but I remember when I was about 12, I saw the greatest cricketer the world's ever known, Don Bradman, play here. And about 2 years later, I saw one of the greatest footballers of all time, have a guess, at the baseball ground, Stanley Matthews. It brought back all the memories. Good God.
You should have come back more often. That's what you should have.
I haven't been here for ages.
Because you did play cricket professionally yourself, didn't you?
No, I didn't play professional. I played with some professionals like, the great Bill Vose and Larwood. I played Pro-Am with him in Nottingham. He retired long after, but he's still got a hell of a lot of wickets. And I've been on the field with people like Fred Truman. I know John Snow very well, who lives in Sussex. I mean, it's great. I'd never have dreamt at that age that I'd have been on the field with some of my heroes, like Dennis Compton, and a lot of them are dead now, but I've been so lucky.
So was the call of cricket quite strong? Would you like to have been a cricketer rather than an actor?
I would like to have been a cricketer for I had a trial for Notts, but that was about, there were 30 other people, and Jeff Millman, I remember, got a contract, who then played cricket for Notts in England a few times. But no, I realised by the time I was about 16 or 17, I wasn't a bad cricketer, but I couldn't have made it as a professional. And I'd have been finished when I was about 30-something or other.
And now look at you.
Although now look at me. I'm glad they can't look at me.
But the thing is, I mean, you've been in literally every classic TV series it's possible to be in. I think when you start to look through your CV, you've also been the voice of many things. Where did all this come from? Where did this performer come from?
What, you mean, have I got any people in my background? No, I didn't have any acting in the background, no. But I had a certain talent at school, and I had a certain talent when I did national service. I acted a bit there, but I was in a Nottingham Cooperative Arts Centre, it's called something else now, which had Peter Bowles before me, Ken Loach, who was contemporary with me, John Bird, hell of a lot, and Tom Baker and Sue Pollard after me. So it was a hell of a grounding. But the Nottingham Playhouse at that time had some amazing people. I saw Brian Blessed's first performance on stage in 60. Forget what it was now. 61, I think it was, or 59, 60.
Were you at the back? Could you hear him quite clearly or not?
He wasn't shouting as much in those days. Yeah.
But you have, I mean, looking at your CV and looking at a few of the old programmes that you've been in as well, working with Helen Mirren and stuff with Brian Clemens and those sort of things, do you realise at the time what you're going through, that you're in sort of a purple patch for television and film at the time when you're coming through?
Well, no, you don't realise it. I mean, I've said to my children, they're all big now, old. I happened to say to Richard the other day, who's 33, I said, well, of course, I met the Beatles at the Colston Hall in Bristol. He said, what? I said, well, I met them. I just wished them good luck, and we thought at that time. And I also had a drink with Mick Jagger before the Stones were famous at the Colston Hall. And months later, somebody said, you know that guy you thought was a well, we didn't say gays in those days. Mm-hmm. You know that guy you thought was homosexual with the long hair? He's the leader of this group now, and they're famous. I said, really? But when you think about it, I could have got the Stones autographs, I could have got the Beatles. But I remember we went back to the dressing room to do our show. The Colston Hall's got the theatre and then the concert place. somebody said, "Oh, well, there's one of these groups. They'll be finished in about 3 months." Of course, a lot of them were, but
If only you got a few things, your loft, there'd be a fortune up there.
but I don't think it's like working with Helen Mirren. It was just before she hit the big time, I suppose. Or she had done a couple of films, but you don't realise what you're going through until afterwards.
Steve, how do you get somebody like Michael to come to the Hoovers?
We're very persuasive, and we've got something on him as well.
Well, he looks like he's spilling most of the beans this afternoon, so you'd have to watch out.
When we were just checking into the hotel earlier, he was kidding on the girl on reception, and he's so convincing that she was sort of half smiling, like right, okay, is he making it up or not? And then he had the same when we were in reception just now. So. Yeah, we were very persuasive, and he's very convincing. So.
Because that is not absolutely true. I tell you why I come to these functions, because I like the Doctor Who. I'm not just saying it. I like the Doctor Who people, and I've been to America twice. I've been to Glasgow, Newcastle, and they're all the same. Although they may come from Newcastle or wherever it is.
We've talked about this before with guests that have come to the Hoovers. Once you're in the Whoniverse, as it were, once you've done a Doctor Who, you're there for life, aren't you?
Well, yes. I mean, and also, if all the world's population were Doctor Who fans, we'd have no problems. Wouldn't be any wars. They might have some arguments about whether Stavros was so-and-so or whatever it was in the universe. But Doctor Who fans, and they're the same in America as well. It's the same attitude, and I love them.